Just want to take a few moments here today to talk about the theory of change. To me, when it comes to the theory of change, there's three questions that you ask. If we do this, if we take this path, then this will happen. And to me, the most important thing is starting from if we do this, and this will happen, and the path can be a little bit flexible depending on this. So makes a person warrant change is that oftentimes there's a crisis that takes place, right? And in the crisis, you realize that there's a few things that have to take place, and one thing that's constant in the crisis is the need for change. And if you get out in front of the crisis, then you lead the crisis, and if you lead the crisis correctly, then you can lead the change to a better place, right? If you allow the crisis to lead you, then it could lead you or your organization over the ditch to a worse place. So crisis is a big mechanism that requires or push people for change. And if we lead the crisis, then we lead the change, and we normally lead the organization to a better place. And that's actually a good thing.
Mm-hmm. Change is inevitable, it's gonna happen, right? And change is difficult. And that's why it comes to crises, right? You don't expect.
My mentor, Dr. Kathy Levitt, put it to me like this. She was one of the professors at Cal State University San Bernardino, and she taught nonprofit management. She said, Quinton, your organization is doing good things, right? And you guys are growing to meet the needs of your community. She said, but you have to continue growing. And I said, well, we're going to get to a point where we sort of just sustain. She said, no. In an organization, one or two things happen. You continue to grow, or you begin to digress.
I could probably possibly add to this conversation is catalyst, right? That's the word that comes to my mind.
Come on.
Because when change does occur, you need a team of people to kind of just like you said, steer it in the right path, correct?
Yes.
So,
two basic strategies when it comes to change is that you either have to change people or you have to change roles. And a lot of people think that it's easier just to change people because when you change people, there's a natural state of change that comes with it. To me, that there's a danger in there because some people are shining stars, so you just have to just really change the roles and just give them time to adapt to the roles. And as long as you keep things what I call CFL, then you're okay. Consistent, fair, and legal. First thing is something that's really important. It's keeping people informed, right? Well, during change, I think what happens a lot of time in organizations, and if I've been a victim of this, right, on both sides, being the person that's not communicating and being the person that's not being communicated to, the key component first step of change is making sure there's a line of communication that's open. Two-way communication, right? Communication coming from the change agent and then going back through the change agent, because there's going to be an agent or a group of people who are sort of steering the change. And normally it starts in a small group and it swells. And what people don't realize 9 times out of 10 is change doesn't start from the top. Change starts from a group of people that are like around the table, then it swells, and then it begins to climb up top. Let's go over this logic model real quick, right? And I think that this program could change the complexion of our community, right? And it'll start with this change theory. If we do this, then this will happen. And let me explain. If we develop and implement a Boys to Men mentoring program, then the high school dropout rate and juvenile incarceration rates both will be reduced. Now, with that, with any type of logic model, there has to be some assumptions, right? And activities. The activities will be that we will train mentors and we will survey youth. And we will connect the youth to mentors and we'll take the youth through a program. The assumption will be that the mentors will embrace and complete the trainings. The youth participants will complete surveys and the training, and that the youth and mentors will be compatible. The outcome, the immediate outcome would be that because the kids are engaged, that they'll be encouraged to attend school every day, and they will avoid run-ins with the law because they're plugged into something positive. And the long-term result we're looking for is that the high school dropout and juvenile incarceration rate will both be reduced. And the way that we would get through this would be through activities and through the certain assumptions that we sort of talked about. Agreed again. And one thing that's apparent is man can do everything except be alone. So if the path that we have to take to get to the world we want to see has to be a path that we have to embrace and push forward towards together. It can't be a lone ranger. It can't be a man on an island. It has to be a consorted group of people getting together and saying, maybe we can't agree on everything, but we need to get over here, from here to there, and we need to do whatever we need to do it together. And I think it comes down to a lot of little bit cause and effect, right? Because there's going to be a need to change, right? There's going to be a need to change, right? And we're going to have to get together to do what we need to do to effect that change. It's going to come down to cause and effect. So if we can simplify it together, if we can plan it together, then we can move to where we need to move together. But it has to be, I guess the word is together.